So the first topic I want to talk about is that the director who did Godzilla Minus One, which to me was the best Godzilla movie that I've seen. It's been announced that he's working on a new Godzilla movie, that he's going to be directing a new one. Now it doesn't say in an announcement video whether it's like it's gonna be a sequel to Minus One, or if it's just a completely new Godzilla movie separate from that. But either way, I'll just be excited for the fact that because how great Godzilla Minus One, I would definitely be excited to see this guy do another Godzilla movie, whether it's a sequel to Minus One or not. Like he did such a great job with that Godzilla movie that, like, to me, it doesn't matter if it's a sequel or not. It always has me excited based on how great that movie was, that Godzilla movie was, because that to me is the best Godzilla movie. So this is definitely, like, to me, exciting news as a Godzilla fan, as somebody who loved that movie, Godzilla Minus One. The next topic is Venom The Last Dance made 51 opening. Now, it's made over 100 because I believe it's done really well internationally. Like, it's had the lowest opening in the US, and before I went online, it's making more internationally than in the US. But, so, like, it'll make more than Joker 2, at least. I don't necessarily think it's gonna make in the 500. Like the Venom Let the Be Calm has made like 506, and then the first Venom I believe made over 800. It's not gonna touch the first Venom, but I'm not even sure if it's even gonna like touch Venom Let the Be Calm is. And Venom The Last Dance, I just don't think this movie is gonna be able to have the repeat value like the first two did. Because yeah, the first two weren't well received by critics, but they have high audience scores, and this one still has a good audience score, Venom: The Last Dance. But I think like because I've heard some people call this the best or worst Venom movie in these movies, depending on how you feel about the Venom movies so far. But I just don't feel like a lot of people like are gonna go back and see this movie multiple times. And I also think this is not good news for Sony because I do think though, like this Sony verse about Spider-Man, that they've just damaged the brand. I mean, you had Madam Web and Morbius before this, which were terrible, and with Venom done, which is really the movies that were making money for, that they were making money off of these Sony verse Spider-Man supporting characters and villains. I just don't like. To me, I think Sony just needs to stop with this Sony verse about Spider-Man because the quality of the movies have just not been all that great. Like I love Venom Let to Be Carnage, but I can see why that wasn't critically why that only has like a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes with critics. You know, the first Venom has like a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, and even though I enjoyed the first Venom enough, and I love Venom Let to Be Carnage, I don't think they really made a movie yet where I can like that outside of Emily Carnes, which I love, but I can see the problems with why there's problems with that movie and why it wasn't like received the greatest in the world. And I would, and if they ever did a Venom, and I do think Venom: The Last Dance has got too goofy, where I do want to see a more serious talk of Venom down the road. But I just think like they just really haven't made him like a great movie in the Sonyverse so far. Even though I love Venom Let the Be Carnage, I can see the problems with that movie and why people had issues with that movie. And without the Venom movies, like I said, they were making the money. And I think the brand is just so damn. It's like Morbius and Madam Web were just so terrible. I mean, if you enjoyed Morbius and Madam Web, you know, great. If you got some guilty pleasures out of those two movies, awesome. But I do think those movies definitely damaged the brand. And the Craven movie, I honestly don't think this bodes well for the Craven movie because I don't think anybody was even excited for that movie. I don't think the trailers have been good for that movie. I mean, the only thing that looks slightly interesting about Craven is because it's all rated. But I just think, and Venom Last Dance, with the reviews that movie's getting, I just don't think Craven's going to do all that well personally. But do I think Venom Last Dance is gonna be like a box office bomb based on how? But no, because it's made over 100 and it's doing well internationally more than in the U.S. And I do think Venom Last Dance will in the end, make more than Joker 2 and at least like do do okay. Like it won't be. I don't see it being like tougher the first Venom, and I honestly don't see it tougher Venom 2. But I could see it maybe like ending up in the 300 area. But yeah, I mean, Venom Last Dance I thought was terrible, and I was one of those people that was excited for that movie, and I'm really not surprised this movie had the lowest opening out of the Venom movies. The next topic I want to talk about is that a new scary movie is in development with the Wayans Brothers. I believe they haven't been. I believe they haven't been part of scary movies since Scary Movie 2. Which I will say this: I enjoy Scary Movie 3 and 4, even though I can understand why people don't see them as funny as the first movies. But I still enjoy those two movies. And look, I'm not the biggest scary movie person. Like when it comes to those like comedy movies that try to make when you have like comedy movies that try to make fun of other movies, that type of genre, I'll admit I'm not somebody who's like really into those movies. So like I enjoyed the first two scary movies, but I'm not like attached to them like everybody else is. But like I'll be interested to check out a new scary movie, and with the Wayans brothers involved, that does have me a little bit more interested to check out a new scary movie. But I think this is great news for fans who love those movies and want to see them back since they won't. And like I said, I believe they won't in. I don't remember them. I don't remember them being in Scary Movie 3 or 4, and I don't think they were involved in those movies. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But for me, I'm intrigued to see a new scary movie with them back. But I'm also not like, oh my god, I can't wait for this movie. Can't wait for this movie. The next thing is that James Gunn said that this was a couple days ago that he's working on a Superman trailer, which makes me think we're gonna get a Superman trailer soon for his new Superman movie, which I can't wait for. Like, I've said this in multiple videos. I trust James Gunn. I think he's gonna nail kick it out of the park with Superman, and hopefully this will be a Superman movie I love since I haven't loved one since Superman 2. But it's exciting news that he's working on a trailer, which means that I'm gonna guess we're gonna get a trailer soon at some point here if he's working on a trailer. But it's definitely like this just makes me more excited for the Superman movie done by James Gunn, and I just cannot wait for this movie. It's my most anticipated movie next year. That's all my thoughts on the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.